All right, Coach. So, dropped a couple since the last time I saw you. Tell me how you're feeling about the team so far through 3 games.
Yeah, this past week was a tough one for us. We didn't play up to the level that we need to play at to win a game, and had a chance to win at the end. After playing, subpar football, especially on special teams. That was something that we took a step back at for sure this week. Last week when people ask me what we have to do to continue to win, it's play good on both sides of the ball and be good on special teams. And we took a step back there for sure. It's a good football team. We have a good football team, and we play a tough schedule, and that's what we want. And you win close games, you lose close games. I still feel really comfortable with this team, and I know what this team's capable of. But man, you got to play well each and every week, and that's something that we hope to get back on track doing this week. It was a long trip out to Central Wash, but it was a good trip. It wasn't anything that should have affected the way we play, and that part we just didn't play well, and they did. They played very well. So, hats off to them. They're well coached. They have a good program, and we just got to find ways to continue to get better as a football team, and not regress in certain areas too. We're going to get better and better on both offense and defense. We've been good on special teams, but we can't take that step back. So I still feel really good about this football team. The goals that we have set up to move forward are still there. It definitely tightens it up a little bit in the sense of losing too early, but that's football, and that's how we'll approach it.
Absolutely. Well, and a short-term regression from the last game was you guys averaged under 3 yards a clip on the ground. Tell me, just something schematically you have to change just from your perspective to kind of help open that running game up a bit?
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with who you're playing. When there's 8 guys in the box, blocking 8 in the run game is hard to do. So, the schemes that we see defensively out of it, when you only rush the ball so many times, and they take that away, you throw for 320. You know what I mean? When they play 8 in the box and you 3 deep, you can throw a little bit more. So probably the biggest thing is like what you're seeing defensively will kind of dictate how you're going to approach things. I'm not going to line up and run, our run game into a box that you can't block everybody. That's something that comes down to. So you kind of have to adapt a little bit with that part of it. But we're close. A lot of times with Central Wash and how they fit things, we block it and we say the back, you got to make one miss, and that's usually getting up to the safety, and we'll get it blocked up to the safety is our terminology with it. And we've done that. Their safeties made good plays and came down and tackled and did some things. But the other thing I'll say is we kind of got put in a position to have to throw it a little bit more than we wanted to, than we planned to. I not say wanted to. We can throw it, but that part of it going down, we had to throw the ball a little bit more, so our numbers in rushing were down a little bit.
Yeah, and in theory, right, whenever they put 8 in the box, you typically have those man-to-man matchups,
yeah.
Right? But your quarterback in particular, he can fling it, but one thing that he has done a lot recently is in every game he's had an interception, at least one. So what do you credit those like little minor mistakes to? Because I know he's new in the system, and a lot of times those quarterbacks, they're either really high or really low, right?
Yeah, and I'll go back a little bit to, he threw 2 interceptions at West Alabama, and if you go watch it, 2 of them went right through the hands of receivers. So, that's something that understanding the perspective of the interception. The one he threw Saturday was a poor decision to throw the football, but at the same time, he had a 250-pound defensive end running right down that we didn't block, right down the middle in his face. So, there's some things that we have to get cleaned up in that part of it. And I will say that we've thrown the ball a little bit more than we have run it this year. So when you do have more attempts, there's going to be a potential for more interceptions being thrown. So you take the good with the bad with it. He's a very dynamic football player. He's somebody that puts us in good situations. Going into the last 2 weeks, we pretty much knew that we're gonna have to throw the ball a little bit for what those teams did with it. So you take the good with the bad for sure.
All right, Coach, kind of speak to the resiliency of your team. Obviously, like you were talking about, you guys got down early on in that game, but you continued to fight back and even had a chance at the end of the game.
Yeah.
How proud are you to see your team continue to fight throughout that entire time?
Well, there's no doubt. That part of it you can build on for sure, right? You can build on the positives that you take out of those games, and you got to find them sometimes. And there was no quit in it. There was poor execution at times on both sides of the ball, and obviously on special teams, you get a punt block for a touchdown. That's something that can't happen. Especially when you're not out schemed and you're just outmanned at certain times with it. And then they had another touchdown we lined up for a field goal, and it was a low snap, and our holder tries to make a play, throws a ball, and it's intercepted and ran back for a touchdown. those things don't happen a lot, so that's something our kids could have hung their hat on or hung their head down and not played hard and when bad things happen, but they did. They fought back and both of our, offensively and defensively, we did some really good things to keep us in that game when we didn't execute well on both sides of the ball as well as special teams.
All right. Is there a sense of urgency from your team not to make sure that you don't go 1-3? Obviously, you welcome in New Mexico this week.
There better be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there better be. On that part, and that's the thing. You have to take it, in stride. We talk each week about going 1-0, and we've put ourselves in position over the last couple of years. We've had some good years, right? And we put ourselves in position to, be the team with a mark on their back that everybody wants to go after and get their best game, and that's good. That's positive. That's a positive thing for our program. We have to live up to it, though. At the same time, our kids have to realize that. You got to go play your best each and every week, and if you're not getting better in practice during the week, that's something it's going to hurt you on Saturday. We've had a lot of injuries this year, but you know what? We have a lot of depth too, and we have kids that I trust and we need to count on and go. So it'll never be a crutch for us. We have good depth. Our next kid's got to step in and play, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward. But I am proud of them, and there's urgency every week, to get these guys right and back on track, because this is a good football team and has potential to do some special things still. But you're definitely that urgency gets increased, with a loss.
Last question here, Coach. You guys, like I said, welcome in Western New Mexico this week. Just what have you seen so far, if you have saw anything on film that they present a challenge to you guys, and that you guys must come out on Saturday night prepared to focus for?
Well, on defense, I watched a lot of their defense already, and they fly around on defense. They play some different, like 5 DB type defense, which means they do a lot of different coverages, a lot of different stunts. They're not big up front in the D-line that we've seen recently, but they're very active and moving around. So, we'll have our hands full in that part of it, trying to figure out blocking schemes and what we're doing with it. But, they've struggled, with their record right now, but their quarterback's a really good football player. That kid is a returning all-conference football player on offense, and he's got some good receivers at weapons out receiver. And so we just got to play an all-around good football game. That's the thing. We got to continue to get better and build, and they'll present us some problems at the same time, but we'll present them some as well, and hopefully we can get back in the win column. But make no mistake. You got to take this game and you got to play your best game, in this conference. And if you don't, you can get yourself beat and embarrassed.
And Coach, we've talked about the offense and special teams. Let's talk about the defense for a minute. After giving up 31 points to School of Mines, the defense really only gave up 13 points last game.
Yeah.
What is the message to those guys saying, y'all are doing your jobs, we got to do better? How do you keep their heads up going throughout that?
That's coaching. That's leadership on that part of it, and leadership with the players. They're very prideful on both sides of the ball, and our kids know that. That's their job. Their job is to worry about what offense is doing as an offensive player, and defense is what a defense is. And you take that challenge. As a defensive coordinator for all the years I was, I didn't focus on what our offense was doing. I focused on what our defense was doing. And it works both ways. Our offensive coordinators don't focus on what the defense is doing. They focus on theirs and work on putting them in good positions to win. So, I think the leadership with it, coaching, Coach Clark's going to have those guys prepared regardless of it. And, it's one of those things. You just take pride in your job and your responsibility. And any defensive player that I always said as a DC that didn't want to be on the field after a turnover or something, I don't want them. I want them out. I want them to be excited they get to go play the next play and that part. So that's our approach with it. And it's just more it's an opportunity for them to continue to get better and continue to show what they're about.
And you say that the guys that y'all are playing this weekend, they got a really talented quarterback, obviously going to be accurate with the football, going to be throwing it around. How important is it going to be more of how long your guys can cover back on the back end of the secondary, or is the focus really getting after the quarterback with the pass rush?
Mixture of both, for sure. We do a good job of pressuring quarterbacks and putting them in tough positions on that. We try to stress their blocking schemes and their protection schemes and that. So, mixture of both. We're going to have our hands full. We do play a lot of man-to-man coverage. So, winning your one-on-one man-to-man out there, but also getting help from the D-line and the linebackers on our pass rush will be huge for us this week. And just making that quarterback uncomfortable, getting him off his spot a little bit. He likes to sit back there. He's a 6'3", 220-pound kid, and he likes to sit back and throw it and get protection in the pocket. So just moving the pocket on him a little bit and getting him off his mark to throw the ball comfortable. That's going to be the plan going in.
And y'all have had a couple of turnovers, whether it be special teams or offense, the last couple of weeks. How important of a goal is it to set for your defense to win that turnover battle, to get those takeaways?
Yeah, no doubt. That's something we want to win that battle every time. The turnover battle's huge in a game. If you go look at numbers statistically across the country, winning turnover margins, you win football games. You really do. It's hard to win a football game with a blocked punt. It is. It's hard. It's almost impossible. Field position's huge too. We've been in bad field position, whether that's ball bouncing down to the 1 yard line in the punt, not fielding the punt. Different things like that has put us there, and we've put the defense in bad field positions as well. They had 13 points, and I think 7 of them were legit drive right down the field, the first one, but the other 2 field goals, we put them in bad positions on offense to, they had short fields for field goals. So, obviously winning the turnover battle and taking the ball away, that's huge. But also the field position part of it's going to be big too, and making great choices with the ball.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.